So the coffin bearers would have had a tremendous task ahead of them, carrying the coffin all the way up to here from, well, you don't know how far they walked with it on the shoulders, but I can imagine in here the rain's driving, or the sleet, or even the snow, wind from the northwest and the hailstones or anything like that, it must have been terrible for them. Mind you, I must say that lots of people nowadays, as soon as one spot of rain hits their nose, they abandon the whole day, don't they? I think this is something that started with Wimbledon itself. You know, people got used to watching the colours being drawn out, and rain was a bad thing. You know, if you're a cricket fan or a tennis fan, lawn tennis fan, there was something terrible about a spittle of rain. And you know, it's I mean, no one likes a miserable wet day in November, but if it's a pleasant day like today and then the rain starts, I mean, it's not really going to do much damage, is it? I mean, you stand the bloody shower for 20 minutes, don't you? You get soaking wet there. And you don't complain. You don't take the brolly into the shower with you, do you? Or the rain mac. There's a little rabbit there. But we'll go off. I can see already the Stirling Council have already got a sign, unstable sign, outside the gates here. I don't want to make this vlog very long. Not really. But also, we have to pay our respects up here. They're not yew trees, any, because there's no well, there's no church on site here. Oh dear, I'll wait to get in here. We'll close it on the way out, Eddie. Don't worry about that. John Dewar. James Dewar. It's a very odd layout, isn't it, for a graveyard, really. It's very sad that all these people, once upon a time, like ourselves, had an active life. They had dreams and aspirations, just like ourselves. And they probably loved sunrises and sunsets just like we do. And all the fun of what makes up the calendar year. Not the BBC calendar year, I have to say. The BBC have spoilt the calendar by their bloody stupid stuff like you know, tennis, racing cars, golf, strictly come down. That's not part of the calendar. It's a beautiful Celtic cross, this, Andy. It's not been. Somebody needs to cut the branches back. I'll phone Stirling Council and ask them to come in the tent and cut those branches back so that the people can see this. I think this is the one that actually drew my attention from way back over there. These trees are too big for this site, I have to tell you this, but in all probability that's what's probably keeping all the land from slipping further down here. I'm sure this is not going to be terrifically interesting now because it is just a graveyard. Well, I shouldn't say just a graveyard, but it's... Now I can see why they want to be buried here. Look at the view. Well, at least I know where I can get access to come and do some of these high tops that will take me up towards the... What's that one again? Any? Is it Benchacharin or something? I can't remember any. Can't remember. Erected by the people of this district in for somebody called, I can't say it, 6 Black Watch, 29th November 1918, age 20. He's also died he died at the very end of the war. He must have died when, well, armistice was on the 11th, wasn't it, of November, so he perhaps succumbed to his injuries after the war was just over. I mean, well, how sad is that? First World War, of course. Well, it's quite baking hot now, so we'll retreat back to the car at least, Andy. No rush, but that's what we'll do. See if we can ask somebody where the well is. We'll check the map. So I've come back down the hill, and I thought there's no point in coming all the way to the priory and not coming to absorb the inner workings of this ancient place. There's some walkers about to pass. You might hear some voices. I wonder what the hell I'm doing standing here. This is obviously a good viewpoint across Strathfillan for the monks. So I've touched the stone and that's what I wanted to do. But to think that it had gone all that way across there is pretty amazing, to be honest. So what we'll do, I'm going down to check the map. Because I want to try and locate, I'm sure the well's further out that way, I'm sure from memory it was something across the way. But the only thing we can do is to consult the map. It might not be detailed enough in the map that I've got on my phone, but we'll check it out anyway, Andy. So this is an official weather station. That's called the Stevenson screen. And the turning point thing over there is the anemometer, the one that's got the wobbles on it for wind speed. And this is one of the wettest places in the country. You know, Fort William takes the biscuit there, but 2.5 meters of rain will fall in this part of the world annually, on average. Sometimes it's more, which is a fair amount. And if you consider it's about 5 times as much as what you get just about 80 or 90 miles away to Edinburgh. East coast is very dry. But I need to go and get this map. We're on the West Highland Way actually. This is why there's a lot of bodies passing. And so that's probably why they vacated the house. Fed up with people staring in the bloody windows. Although if I was in the West Highland Way and I was with water, down for a cup of tea, I'll say, listen, have you got a strimmer or a lawnmower? I'll give you a lawn, a quick, if you make a sandwich and a cup of tea for me, please. Yeah, strong tea. I don't normally take sugar, but I'll have strong tea with a couple of sugars in it, please. Very beautiful around here, Annie. Very beautiful indeed. Did you come to say hello? Hello there. Yes. A lovely afternoon, isn't it? Much more favourable than it's been of late. Where's your hubby? I beg your pardon? Really? Oh well. My phone app, the map on my phone is not detailed enough because I can't get Ordnance Survey on my phone. No one can. Well, unless they pay a subscription for that. But anyway, this is the nearest I can see to what looks like a well. And from memory, I know that they're all in the same vicinity. I'm looking. It's called the Priest's Well, but I'm not sure if this is it or not. I'll go over into the field and see if this is. We're just outside Kirkton Farm here. It's a research station for mountains. You'll see some the office workers there. It's almost lousing time. It's 5:05. So we'll have a little clamber over here, Andy, and try and establish if this is it. There's certainly a water source of some description. That's a water. It's upside down for this camera, but that's a, what do you call it, a water registration mark on that covering there. And there's a pipe there. There's a slab being put across here, and concrete and plastic's been poured on top. So I get an impression that this is the whale. I can't see how deep that will be. I don't have a stick. Try this, Eddie. Yeah, it's difficult to tell, but this gives me an impression of it being a well. I'd like to think that this is the Priest's Well, but if not, I'll have to do further examination of my map and come back again. If somebody was available, I would say, do you know where the Priest's Well is, you fool? You're standing on it, Annie. Well, let's see. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed my time here. It's been very, very pleasant, I have to say. The fact that the sun actually came out for a change and stayed out was made it all the more pleasant. It was quite warm too for a little while. But we're going to pack up now. Car's parked over in the farmyard. But this would be an ideal sort of house for me, I have to tell you this. Not trying to be funny, but I mean, the West Highland Way passes right here, well, at least one section of it, because there's obviously a branch off when you're coming out from Crieff. You can go across the top way and then come back over and join it, or you can come over the bridge and come up this way. But it'd be fine to settle yourself in there and open the kitchen windows when you're frying onions and fresh frying steak from the butchery, and the aroma of filling the air here, and with the tongues hanging out of the weary walkers and rattling the ice bucket for the champagne and stuff. No, I don't think you would do that, Andy. It's not in your nature, sir. You're more likely to shout to you, "You alright, would you like a cup of tea, mate? Fancy a sandwich? I'll make you one like my grandma used to make." Yes. cold gammon and a good smudging of English mustard. Burn your tongue off. And fresh butter below the whole lot. She never used to cut a sandwich in a diagonal fashion. That was a middle class invention, I think. But I remember the first seeing this sandwich, well, in actual fact the middle classes, well, the upper middle classes to be honest, will take a sandwich and cut the crusts off. They don't use the crusts. And I remember that in public school, you know, if there's any sort of activities going on, there's sandwiches to be made with the kitchen staff. And if there was any leftover sort of thing, would you like a sandwich, Andy? Oh yes please, I'll have the roast beef one please. But they're always cut with no crusts on them, little dainty things, cucumber sandwiches and that sort of thing. And but diagonal sandwiches, I remember the first time I saw a diagonal sandwich, and I thought to myself, well, I've always cut it at 90 degrees. I must start doing this. So it's something I tend to do often, but to be honest, I don't really actually. They don't fit into the piece box quite so well. The Tupperware containers, when you're taking up the mountains, you get your sandwich, it's best to cut it in four. That's the way it works anyway. So I think we'll pack up here for now. Glorious, it really is absolutely glorious. The problem with farmers, and you know, everywhere you go, farmers they don't really care about aesthetics of the farmyard. Everything's just the way it is. They dump a lot of stuff, you see. But if I was a farmer, I would make sure that everything was looking really quite neat, and I'd definitely have geese. There would be a couple of geese here, and a few hens also flitting around and doing their own thing. Farmyard cat sitting over here. Yes. In actual fact, just before I leave the area, I'll come back just to have a final look at this weather. This is an official Met Office weather station. The data is transmitted automatically to the Met Office's headquarters at Exeter every hour. And this is that place behind me is the Hill and Mountain Research Centre, but interestingly this is the averages from 1991 to the year 2020. Now it does tell me that on average we have rainfall on 280 days a year in this location. I've always said to people that Strathfillan is very wet because it's surrounded by mountains in all directions. But what's more interesting is the average temperatures for the period. This is averages, and this is the part where, I mean, you know, in the month of July, the peak is 18 degrees Celsius on average over 30 years. Okay. (1991), 2001, 2011, yeah, so 29 years, 30 years. And so 18 degrees Celsius in July, and the average temperature in December or January is roughly about 6 degrees. Obviously it falls below that, but that's the average. And this is what I'm saying about averages to the Met Office. They don't give the averages, they give the complete maximums, what is recorded at noon or 2 p.m. In full sunshine. That's not the way you measure temperature. That's why we have something called the Stevenson screen, so that the temperature is measured within the box, so it's not in direct sunshine. What's more, the average minimum temperature in July is around 8 degrees Celsius, and the average maximum, as I say, is 18. So that's the mean, maximum, minimum. And according to the Met Office, we're experiencing higher than normal averages year on year, every year. This is proof. This is a graph. It tells me quite clearly that on the 30-year average, that's the maximum. 12 degrees in April, with the lows of about 1 or 2 in March. March is always the coldest month of the year. Do you know that? Because it's the month of the year where the sun's been away from us for the longest period since the autumn equinox. So the land's cool. So that's why you always get quite cool conditions in the month of March. You'll get pleasantly warm March days, of course we will, but overall it's the coldest month of the year. There's the old saying that as the days grow longer, the cold gets stronger, and that's what it means. Anyway, I'm kind of satisfied that area I've looked at just a wee while ago is the actual pre-swell, and but if not, I'll put a correction on the map on my edit, and if need be, I'll come back again. But I'm reluctant to leave this beautiful area. It's a bit tacky, as I say. It's a lot of stuff lying around I wouldn't have if I owned the place, but they've got a lot of bird boxes all surrounded, and the birds around here are absolutely wonderful. I've had a real great time with them. They've been sitting chatting with me for on and off. I mean, there's another one sitting on here. Don't go, Annie, we've enjoyed your company, it's saying. But, look at the little thing just there. Please, Annie, stay a little while longer. Tell us more stories, please. But the noise of the traffic is quite upsetting, because it's this would be an absolutely wonderful place for the Priory. Very, very peaceful indeed. And I have to say, despite being a wet place, it's in the sunshine, it's been absolutely terrific today. So we'll leave it at that, will we?